Hello everyone, I am Pramiti Borwa. Today I am going to present the paper Belief and Evidence in Empirical Software Engineering by Prem Devanbu, Thomas Zimmermann and Christian Bird. Here we will get introduced to the authors. Prem Devanbu is the professor of computer science at University of California at Davis. His area of interest is the software engineering, empirical software engineering, etc. His age index is 63. Thomas Zimmermann and Christian Bird both work as researchers at Microsoft Research. Thomas Zimmermann has age index 68 and Christian Bird has age index 47. The paper was presented at the IEEE ACM 38th International Conference on Software Engineering in May 2016. It was cited 150 times. The research question of this paper is what the prior beliefs of the developers are and how it can be compared with empirical research. This paper is focused on surveying the beliefs of software developers on empirical software engineering. It aims at identifying the relationship between the beliefs of software engineers and the actual phenomena. There are two types of statistical methods that are available by which one's beliefs are integrated with the data. Frequentists state that the probability of correctness of a theory should be indirectly but exclusively inferred from the frequency, with which the consequences of the theory are observed in experiments. This view is empirical and entirely dependent on observation and data. There is no room for prior belief. On the other hand, Bayesians state that the probability and statistics should reflect a state of subjective belief. Here the data is gathered and interpreted in terms of prior belief. Then it is combined with experimental data to obtain an updated posterior belief. Frequentist p-value have been critiqued based on several concepts. The first one is if one assumes that the prior probability of a hypothesis being true or false are not equal and that the hypothesis is actually false, then simple experimental error leads to a higher rate of erroneous alternative hypothesis. The second one is the inherent variation in p-values has an unfortunate interaction with the career intensive of scientists due to sampling error. There is a tendency to bend toward favorable conclusion because of the desire of publications. The third problem is that media usually focus on surprising results, often focusing on findings that might be false discoveries. In Bayesian experimental design, the total utility to be gained is decided before starting the experiment. This inspires passion among developers. In the next couple of slides, we will talk about the survey design approach and the finding of the survey results. For survey design purpose, several claims were chosen based on the consequences of the claim being true or false. They are on the basis of software practice. For each of these claims, developers were asked to respond on a 5-point Likert scale. In addition, demographic evidence was gathered based on demographics, employment, and geographics. The target audience was software engineers at Microsoft. The following table represents the average score and the standard deviation for all the claims in the survey. The higher average score indicates that more people agreed with the claim. whereas higher variance indicates more disagreements with the participants. The claim that people disagree with most is the riskiness of fixing defects, and more people agreed most with the benefits of code reviews. The survey also addressed how developers formed their opinions. The developers were asked to rank possible factors in their opinion formation. They were given a choice of personal experience, peer opinion, mentor or manager, trade journal, research paper, and others. This collection of ranks was plotted based on higher ranks appearing higher in the plot. From this box plot, we can see that the highest ranked factor was personal opinion and the lowest ranked was other. Geographically distributed teams produce code whose quality is just as good as the teams that are not geographically distributed. This has been examined in more detail. The belief of programmers was compromised. Evidence from actual project data was obtained from two large projects. Members from Project A mostly disagreed with this statement, while Project B members tended to agree with it. Thus, the developers from different countries are expected to have different personal experience with the distributed development, which is based on observable differences in the two projects. Project A had encountered more quality difficulties in distribution development, while Project B had none. As the primary goal was to gather quantitative evidence on software quality, the interest was on the number of commits. The response variable nfix is the number of defects repaired associated to the file. In four control measures, mean size measures the average size of the file in line code. The second one measured the number of commits made to the file, and the third one was for the total number of distinct developers committing to the file. Finally, OTOP measured the percentage of commits made by the most frequent committer to the file. The model for Project A and Project B is presented here. The models show that the direction and significance of the effect. The p-values are highly significant. This indicates that all controls are significant. The effects are in the direction that one might expect defects to increase significantly with the size of the files and the total number of developers committing to a file. Four successive models for each of the two projects were built to measure the effect of the experimental variables. Each model gave an indication of effect on files which were changed within the one geographic location, indicated by the operative indicator variable. The results here indicate that developers form opinions subjectively based on their personal experience. Finally, the study found that some claims attracted more agreement than others. Personal experience of the developers plays an important role in formatting their opinion. Geographic distribution does not have any influence on quality, and we can say that teams belief varies project to project. That there could be a risk if the programmer relies too much on personal experience. These are the references that were used for this presentation. Thank you, everyone.